Hey, I'm John Corcoran. I'm the co-founder of Rise25.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss, the other co-founder of Rise25.
And we're here at IRC. It's one of the largest retail conferences of the year, and this is one of our largest projects to date. And how did we get it? We got it, of course, from podcasting. Podcasting is just one of the best things you can do for your business to get leads, to get strategic partners, to get referral partners in the door. It's enjoyable, it's professional and personal development that doubles as marketing, it's client acquisitions, it's all of these things. Yeah. But specifically, it can lead to huge projects like this one, right?
Yeah, and the other reason it's a huge benefit is people don't realize it actually makes it easier for people to refer to you.
Absolutely, because when you have a podcast, it makes it so much easier for someone else to just refer someone over to you. Whereas when you don't have a podcast and you're just a service provider, they're often, not going to refer someone to you because they know that other person might be subject to a sales pitch, right?
Yeah. What they do is they start qualifying, is this person qualified to meet this person, instead of just saying, hey, John has this amazing podcast, you should talk to him. It leads to 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 referrals. I know in my inbox every day, I'm getting incoming emails saying, I want to be a guest on your show. And I also have incoming emails saying, I want to refer you 2 or 3 of my friends to be featured on your show.
Right. So you'll see more referrals, and you can even ask other people after you've talked to someone that, is a great prospect or a great referral partner. You can say, who else should I talk to? And they're going to open up their Rolodex, and they're going to invite you, they bring in other people that they're going to introduce you to.
I mean, you were talking to someone the other day about a multiple 8-figure business, and you got off the phone.
Yeah, just a month ago or so, I interviewed a guy who was the co-founder of a business that at its peak was doing $52 billion a year in revenue. And it's the kind of person that you can't just shoot him an email and say, hey, I'm going to be near the Starbucks near your house. Want to meet me for 45 minutes so I can pick your brain? Oh, no way. You're not going to hear back from that guy. But, when you have a podcast, they get on the phone with you for 45 minutes. You have a conversation. You get to know them. Now I can shoot him an email or a text, and he's going to get back to me right away. It's just unheard of access to high caliber people. There is someone at a higher level that you should be connecting to. Maybe you're better than me, but maybe you're the kind of person you can make a phone call, you can send an email, and you get a message back right away, right? No. For most people, it's a little challenging. With a podcast, it's unbelievable. You can reach out to authors, speakers, to potential clients, referral partners, people that you wouldn't otherwise have any access to. They'll get back to you, they'll give you their time, and it leads to a relationship which can lead to all kinds of business opportunities.
I mean, John, it's the best way I've ever seen of someone leaping to the top of an industry and becoming a thought leader of an industry, because it's guilt by association. So if you have the top leaders, you have the top people in that industry, and you're associated with them, and you're interviewing them, and people see them on video with that person or hear you with them, then what happens is they associate you with the top people in the industry, and it leaps you to the top of any industry very, very quickly.
Many people go to a trade show throughout the year. If you want, leading up to that trade show, you interview all the speakers, you interview all the thought leaders, the leaders who are going to be at that show. And when you come, you're the most well-networked person at that event. You've done that very thing.
In different industries, across any different industry. It can be done in a very short period of time.
The number one misunderstanding about podcasts is thinking that, oh, how am I going to get downloads?
As far as downloads go, it does not matter. People think, well, how am I going to get in front of 1,000 people, 2,000, 5,000? They don't realize the only person that matters is that referral partner. The high-level referral partner is going to refer them lots and lots of business, or directly to their customer. Yeah. And how do you get that person?
The truth is, the only person that matters, the person that matters the most when it comes to a podcast is the person on the other end of the microphone. The person that you're reaching out to, that you're having a conversation with. And oftentimes we think of marketing as secondary. While you're having that conversation, you're recording it, and you will be able to use it for years. I mean, we've gotten leads from podcasts that we did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You did it once, you record it for 30 minutes. It is the most efficient, effective use of your time. In fact, actually, people say to us all the time, I don't think I have time to start a podcast. And I say, you know what, I feel sorry for people who don't have a podcast, because it would be so much more time consuming to not have a podcast. You're not going to get connections with high caliber people. And also when you record a podcast, you record it, you spend 30 minutes, you're going to benefit from that relationship for years to come. And you're going to benefit from that episode being up on the web for years to come.
Yeah, and you're already having those conversations. People are already on the phone with 10 of their or should be, with their ideal referral partners or clients. So why not hit the record button, make it go further? It gives you another chance to reach out to them because you have that initial conversation. And then when you publish the episode in 2 weeks, a month, you could say, by the way, I just featured you across Facebook, LinkedIn, our website and everything like that. We want to give first. And what this does is it allows you to give to your ideal client or referral partner to say, hey, listen, I featured you, I profiled you, I told my audience about you, and they're going to be forever, grateful for that.
Right. If you want to be a guest on other podcasts, one of the best ways to do that is to have your own podcast. To reach out to other podcasters, have them be a guest on your show, and they will reciprocate. It's how I got to be a guest on one of the Shark Tank podcasts. That very strategy. One of the other big mistakes that people make with podcasting is lack of consistency. They start it and then they're inconsistent about it. They do an episode once, then they wait a few months, and then something else gets busy. They get busy with something else gets in the way. So the most important thing to do is to be consistent. You got to be putting those out regularly. A number of years ago, I was not consistent. One year I found I put out only 7 episodes. And I said, Jeremy, you got to help me systematize this, which you did. And the very next year I put out 52 episodes. And so that's 52 high caliber people that I'm delivering value to at the end of the year. So I look at it that way. If you do one a week, that's 52 people that you are delivering value to that then, due to the law of reciprocity, want to repay the favor.
I mean, one of the reasons people are also inconsistent is because they don't have a direct strategy to get an ROI on the podcast. And so one of the things we tell people, we help them put in for ourselves a direct strategy. So when they see there's a direct strategy and they're reaching out to their best clients, best referral partners, and they're seeing those referrals coming in, it's fuel to the fire, right? It's like crack cocaine. Yeah. They just want to keep doing it because it's working. So if, the people drop off and they stop because they're focusing on the wrong things, they're focusing on the wrong people to have on their show, and then they just don't want to do it. They don't see that it's benefiting them.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to get ROI, to have the right strategy, to be strategic, intentional, reaching out to the right people, and to have everything delegated off of your plate. You need to be focusing on the highest and best use of your time, which is having the conversation with the people, the high caliber people, strategic partners, referral partners, clients on the other end of the line.
Yeah, for us, it's really thinking of how is this going to produce the biggest ROI for your business. And for us, it's the biggest asset. It's the last thing that we stop out of anything that we do because it leads to the highest level clients, the highest level referral partners.
I mean, you and I have both spent thousands over the years on doing a podcast, right? It is the very last thing that I would give up because I know when I stop doing a podcast, you stop building relationships and you atrophy naturally.
Yeah. And it puts a direct system in place for our business, for any business, as far as a pipeline, a lead funnel, and it puts that in place so that you can actually, someone comes in, someone spits out a referral or a client.
Right. What people need to understand about podcasting is that it's not just marketing. It is client acquisition. It is strategic partnerships. It is referral marketing. It is business development. It is all of these things wrapped into one. In fact, I found it's a huge time saver. I got a bunch of young kids at home. I don't want to be out schlepping around, going to different networking events, meeting people who aren't a good fit for me. I want to be really deliberate about my time. And so it's like laser focused. It allows you to be really disciplined about only talking to the most important people and delivering value to those people. So I'd much rather devote my time highly effectively to talking to the highest caliber people rather than going out there and a needle in a haystack approach trying to find the right person.
Yeah, you talk about the evergreen piece. A 20 to 30-minute conversation leads to, it's evergreen. It stays out for years to come. Not only that relationship people are thankful for, but, it's not just that day, but it goes out for weeks and months and years. And like you said, you've had episodes and you've put out 5 years ago that people email you about, and it keeps coming back to you.
Yeah, we've got a client right now who he's actually about to go to New Zealand in a couple of months because of the podcast. He had an organization that reached out to him and invited him to be the keynote speaker. So he's getting an all-expense paid trip to New Zealand, which I've never been to. I'd love to go there sometime. And, he's going to have a wonderful trip out of it, maybe get an additional, a number of good clients out of it. And what he said is that, you told me this would happen, But at the end of the interview, if you've done it right, if you picked the right person, you had a great conversation with them, then they just say, how do we work together?
How do we work together? Exactly.
The other big misunderstanding about podcasting is people think, oh, I will do it one day. One day when I get my act together, this mystical day that far off in the future, when
everything falls into place,
the stars are aligned, I will start podcasting. And what I say is, no, now is the time. You got to get started now.
Well, you always tell people, well, if you start now and you have even one additional conversation a week, at the end of the year, you'll have 52 amazing referral partnerships, referral relationships, clients, and you start to build this huge network.
Yeah, there's never a bad time to start building your network. You should be doing it today. You should be building relationships with potential clients, with strategic partners, with referral partners. That you need to get started with right away. Because if you wait for everything to be, all the stars to be aligned, it'll never happen and you'll never do it, right? And now is really the most important time to do it. And you got to start by delegating the pieces off your plate, and having a deliberate and intentional approach to it. What we see so many podcasters who get started, and then it's sad because they might love it, they might really enjoy it, but they don't really have a disciplined, focused approach. And then 6 months later, 12 months later, they give up because they find, wow, this actually was a lot of work and I didn't get a lot of results.
I mean, the reason we find that people hesitate or stop or never do it because it seems daunting to them, or they're not sure exactly how to do it. And so just what I always tell people, just like in their business, like I was talking to a fulfillment company, I'm like, you're a fulfillment company. You fulfill things. What we do is we help people create relationships through content and podcasting. So let us do our job. You stick to your sweet spot and your superpower. And so people bring us on because they realize, okay, they can try and do it themselves. And that's they're worried about the things that are the technical things of how they get it started instead of the whole strategy and just let us handle everything else.
I talked to a client the other day, an IT consulting firm, and they're busy enough as it is, but they wanted more leads coming in the door. We implemented our strategy. And when I talked to him, he told me that the day before he had 4 appointments set with a high caliber target, actually CIO level, that he was trying to reach out to. And it was just really blown away by how effective it was. So if you want to get a continuous flow of clients, strategic partners, referral partners coming in the door, then what you need to do is contact us below. We'd be happy to share all the details on pricing and how it would work to work with us.
Thanks for watching. We look forward to talking to you soon.